I'm bringing you a very weird deck today. I built Amorphages. I finished the deck recently, and I'm very excited about it. So here we go. I play two of the Ritual monster, Amorphage Pain. He's mostly just like a backup play, but he's also a really good card. He just, like, you throw him out, negate everything. Negate extra deck, your opponent skips their main phase 1. 3 Goliath. I prefer 3. If you're building the deck, I would say like 2. It's just I like 3 because it's Macrocosmos. Next, 2 Sloth. You can play 3. It's just because he's level 6, you can't normal summon him, so you'd have to throw him into scale. But he is a pretty good card by himself. 3 Amorphage Pride. I rarely put him in the scale. I mostly do it off of the trap cards effect, just so I can put him in extra deck. He's the highest attack point one that I can normal summon. But I did play Chainburn once, and like he came in clutch. 3 Wrath. This is Mask of Restrict. This actually won me a game with Monarchs on YGO Pro. Like, I threw this out, I normal summoned Pride, and they like couldn't play. He's the other good card.
So fair.
I do play 3 Envy because, just because it's another Amorphage name, and it's just other tribute fodder, but its chain link effect in scale is actually pretty fun. 3 Greed. I play 3 Greed, again, because it's a name. It's an easy thing to take out for other stuff, just like Envy. But stopping your opponent from even being able to strike your summons, it's pretty good. Anti-spell, or sorry, my Amorphage Lechery, but it's basically anti-spell. Throw this in scale, neither of us can play spells except for Amorphage spells. You mostly want it in your scale, in your opening hand. 3 Gluttony, Skill Drain. It's, again, if you have to, only if you absolutely have to, you'll set it. But yeah, he's a pretty good card. If you throw him out with say, Sloth, then you're pretty good to go. 3 of the field spell, Amorphous Persona. I draw 1 every time an Amorphage monster is tributed, so... Plus, it turns into a ritual spell for Amorphactor when it's in the grave. 3 Infection. You want to see this as much as possible. You don't play 2, you play 3. You want to see this as much as possible. Like, no matter what. You want that in your opening hand. I do play 1 Pot of Duality and 1 Ignite Reload. I was playing this other card called Dre Connection that lets you, like, swap dragons in your hand for other ones. But it's a neg-1, so I wanted to get the +1 off of this, and then I wanted to get the adding with this one. Sure, it doesn't let you special summon, but, like, if you have the right scales, then you can just normal summon and pass. 3 of Amorphage Lysis. This makes your opponent lose a whole bunch of attack, plus every time a scale dies, whether it's your turn or your opponent's turn, you can just immediately replace it. 3 Pendulum Reborn. You're gonna use this mostly to revive the Goliath and Sloth, but mostly Goliath. You're rarely gonna use it for the level 4s because you Pendulum summon those. And then 1 Solemn Warning. That's because this card is busted. So that's the main deck. I do play a sort of side deck. It's just other cards that I place depending on like the match. 1 card D because you can just normal this, Pendulum Summon, like use its effect and pass. A 3rd Sloth. I picked it up just because like I wanted to have a 3rd one just in case I ever wanted to play it. Plus sometimes like I can throw this, like I said, I can throw it out, make my opponent not be able to search. 1 Lector. It's another scale 5, plus it has 1950, so it's another monster to throw out. It's kind of like the monster effect is basically just Grand Mole for pendulums. And then whenever I play against another pendulum deck, I play Vector. I take out 1 Greed and 1 Envy, and I play Vector because it negates the scale effects. And you don't play an extra deck because all of them say You can't. All of the lower level ones say when it's pendulum summoned or flip face up. Neither of us can special summon monsters except for special summon monsters from the extra deck except for Amorphage monsters while it's face up on field. And then Sloth and Goliath just say neither of us can special summon from extra deck except Amorphage monsters at all while they're on field. So you don't want to play an extra deck. You can play an extra deck if you find the right build, like with Luster, but you're mostly never gonna go into the extra deck. The only reason you'll have an extra deck is when the pendulums die. But this deck, this is the best anti-meta deck in my opinion, because it can get bricky, but it can work if you find the right builds. This is just pure Amorphage, plus the Drake Overlords just to fuck with your opponent. But yeah, that's the end of the deck profile. Thank you all for watching. The 20 sub special will come around and it'll be really good, unlike what my original plan for was. So be on the lookout for that, and tell Daniel in the comments below that he is a casual scrub who should die.
Thank you.